the Trundle bundle, a bundle of Trundles if you would. We've played this deck a few times before. It's one of the ones up on my website. It's definitely a fan and personal favorite of mine. So Trundle, when he comes into play, he summons this Ice Pillar into your hand. And then he levels up when he's seen you play the Ice Pillar. His leveled mode gains Overwhelm in addition to his regeneration. And when he attacks, he gets +1 attack permanently for each 8+ cost card in your hand and in play. So the basic idea of this deck is we want to get Trundle in play. We want to level him up with the Ice Pillar. And then we want to have various copies of Trundle die to things like Chronicler of Pain or just naturally in combat. And then we bring copies of Trundle back with things like Rekindler, or we fish extra copies out of our deck with things like Thresh, and then eventually we set up this pseudo combo kill with Harrowing, where we revive a bunch of Trundles, they put a bunch of Ice Pillars in our hand, and then we attack for a very large amount of damage with Overwhelm. One of the things that's the real appeal of this deck, though, is the fact that while it has these combo finishes with Harrowing, it's not an all-in combo deck. I would describe this deck as a combo control deck. So we've got interaction like Vengeance and Ruination, as well as lots of cheap units to clog up the board early, as well as enable Thresh that let us play a reasonable game plan even when we're not getting to that Harrowing finish. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games here with this and see how it goes. Okay. Few times, couple 212. Starting a little bit early this morning because I have a firm cutoff of 1 o'clock. If we have a rehearsal for the event this weekend. Hey, D-Rock, I will get that bumped up in the queue after I'm done streaming today. Thanks for using the channel, shillings. Yes, they did. Well, hello there. Do I know who I am casting with yet? I believe it's pastry time. I'll find out for sure. I'll find out for sure this afternoon, but I believe it's pastry time. Are the Runeterra sounds loud? Are they okay? Are they okay with my voice? Infamous has been good. The boss fights are a little bit tedious, but the story is very well done. The scene seems fine. Flash Freeze has utility here. Catalyst and the Thresh sounds good. We're attacking on odds, so we'll probably just bank spell mana the first 2 turns, play this on 3, play this on 5. Although that's perhaps a reason to play this out on 2. That's a nice drop. This means I can play this to the board, which is nice, and still play my Catalyst here. Yep, but it is playing Fiora Shed.
They would fall by my blade. This will be quick.
I think this matchup is bad. Yeah, I could see that. We have a lot of really cheap things that let Fiora level and win the game alternatively pretty easily.
Strike quickly, strike on guard.
actually gonna do this. Keep their Fiora off a leveling here if possible.
This will be quick.
When do they have it? Always. When do you have it? Never.
Too easy.
Maybe I'm just supposed to use a second glimpse there to make them have a second single combat. I mean, the opponent's archetype, again, specifically preys on decks with small units in it. And, like, that's, like, I know we're a control deck, but our deck is also a control deck that's full of small units. This is exactly the style of deck that they look to be good against. Really? Okay, I was kind of expecting them to do something with this, and then I was gonna glimpse in response. My name here. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. You know what? Vile Feasting there might be wrong because of... Vile Feasting there might be wrong because of the ability to break a barrier down the line.
To me.
Witness my
Alright, so they can single combat, but they can't concerted strike at the moment. If they have third single combat, we'll just lose here, and that's fine. I think there's a very good chance they have riposte here. I guess we're dead regardless, right? Yeah, I definitely should have held the Vile Feast last turn. Killing their 2-1 was silly. I should have held Vile Feast to be able to and I assume this is the riposte.
Counter and strike.
Morning, Lowski.
I'm not a loser. You're the loser.
You're a loser. Trundle's such a salty baby. Such a salty baby. Shyvana, Aurelion Sol. I think I'm into keeping Trundle to start, and I'm looking at the rest of these looking for some early plays. That noise. So we got 4 mana total here. It's a little sad that I played the other one drop out. So if they attack with the goat, we can block plus Vile Feast it. Probably the play. And then can't Trundle this turn because it's only 4 and we didn't get a chance to ramp. That's nice. Let's go ahead and get a ramp on.
One star's whoopsie is another spot.
If you have a 2-2, we'll see them open on attacks. If they don't open on attacks, we'll have to get Thresh down, and then Thresh is pretty good with all these little bodies, plus a glimpse here. Yeah, definitely just taking this little bit of a hit. I have these 2 in hand to heal back up a little bit, and getting Thresh into play before we start killing things has a lot of value here.
And here's where I'd paint my constellation.
These are troll lands.
Also known as Twitch, an Amazon subsidiary. Let's do it. Ready to go to war, Mr. Trundle?
Time is nigh.
Alright, well, Trundle is no longer going to war. The rest of these can go to war. I guess that's not even quite true, right? Because if this kills something, they get a thing out of it. So I guess I'd rather just Thresh to start here. Morning, Logan. That's rude. So we'll get Trundle leveled here, which is a good first start. This does give them an ice pillar to hook that's vulnerable.
What will you have?
Kind of like to draw a thing that triggers this, so now I can attack with this and hook this in here. And get these traded off.
How about another round? One smack will do.
Harrowing. Harrowing's a great pickup. It means, like, once this dies, we can get Rekindler down and get another Trundle, and then we're well on our way to setting up some Trundles dying with this. As a turn 8 Aurelion Sol, yep.
Enough stars. Now we forge destiny. A destiny born in starfire.
Looking for a Ruination here. This is only at 18 out of 25, so I think that's fine. So we can kill them around this with the right setup here. Opponent's archetype often plays Judgment, So that's a card I'm probably going to want to try and conserve this Flash Freeze for my lethal harrowing turns. That way we don't get blown out by Judgment.
Opus.
Well, that's a good one.
I'm the forger of stars. I do love an audience.
Yeah, this attacks for 3. But that's not particularly exciting.
Can I paint you?
Alright.
Have faith.
Yeah, I mean, like, that actually seems decent for us. All Might Poggers, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
We burn, then kindle anew.
Yeah, I needed to get my board clear.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty sparkle flag.
Okay.
This world must burn.
Okay. I'm still not dead to them attacking, right? We're just like trying to get set up so that way we can harrowing for a lot the following turn. Okay, there's another challenger, so now I probably want an extra blocker. Does this make a spider? It does. Okay, so let's do this. Yeah, if we get Skies Obliterated or whatever, we're gonna have a bad time. Skies Ascended.
Now they'll pay attention
Yeah, I like popping the spell shield too.
to the stars.
Okay, I mean, them opening on attacks is good for us here.
By my speed,
Paint your feelings.
let's talk about your stats.
No, I wanted to take Spell Shield off the Aurelion Sol in case I drew a Ruination. Gab the Greater, thank you for the 20 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around.
Return to us.
Rekindled anew. It's also important to take Spell Shield off the Aurelion Sol, so that way, if my opponent has a Judgment, I'm able to Flash Freeze it when they Judgment with it next turn when I attack. So that perspective is also. No, not my Trundle. How will I ever replace that? I am Harlequin. The eye over here on the left lets you see exactly how the stack is gonna play out, how your blocks are working, what the ending board state's gonna be after you click the button. Easily one of the best features, if not the best feature in Runeterra. It's so very well done. Alright, so if we can dodge the Skies Descend, we can dodge a ball here, chat.
They stare.
close game. Needed to fade their best possible play. Good.
Kings can't lose.
Was hoping Judgment was their answer so we could counter with Flash Freeze, and unfortunately could not miss. Yeah, we needed Vengeance the turn before so we could kill their Aurelion Sol, so that way they were less likely to have the Sky's Descent, because the Sky's Descent is Aurelion Sol's champion spell. So if we had been able to kill Aurelion Sol, they wouldn't have been able to have that in hand unless they had 2 more of them. Full mulliganing here, looking for cheap things to play the board. That was also kind of an unfortunate game for us. Like we were like a third of the way into our deck without any of our 3 copies of Ruination or either of our 2 copies of Vengeance. So need to see one of those 2 things against a deck where we're playing the board like that. So, banking spell mana here on 2, so we can go ahead and Catalyst on 3.
Me too, kiddo.
Hey, Chris, thank you for the half year. I appreciate that. Welcome back.
This is awesome! You have to get me out of here!
Now we're cooking.
We don't know any of those details, Jota. Probably early 2022, but they've not confirmed anything. It's just anything anybody tells you is just rampant speculation. I should probably make a command for thoughts on Runeterra rotation, so it's a question that people like to ask a lot.
Time for the moneymakers. Let's do this. Go somewhere.
What does that mean in the context of a live event? It's like a sound check. It's making sure everybody knows how the technology works, that the technology is functional, so that way ideally you don't have issues the day of the event.
Nobody escapes. I thought I was already perfect.
Worth glimpsing to stop the Draven level up? I don't think so. I think I want a Catalyst here. Pretty sure you're just supposed to hop on Discord and wing it, right? I guess if I Catalyst there to stop, or Glimpse to stop the Draven level up,
Walls are made to be broken. Like buildings.
if I Glimpse to stop the Draven level up,
Sometime.
no, I'm blanking on my words. I got anything.
Now we're cooking.
I'll give you to the count of bicep.
Well, Ashlyn actually won't be... Ashlyn and Kibler are just host Echo, so they won't be commentating matches directly. I believe I'll probably have part with both Ashlyn and Kibler, though. Usually the hosts interact with people in these types of things. This is the part where they play Get Excited and then kill me? Yeah. Feels bad, man.
Everyone goes boom!
Have I talked with Kibler before? I have not. I believe I'll be working with Pastry Time. I think that's their name. People that don't have real names, the esports world of handles is strange to me. We're like, what? We're like 50, like the cast is like 50% real names, 50% handles, because it's Swim, freaking Pastry Time, and then me, Kibler, and Ashlyn. Is Hoagland my real name? It is. Greek is not his real name.
There's nothing to fear.
I mean, to be fair, I think it's almost assuredly safe to say that Kibler's better known for Hearthstone stuff than Magic stuff at this point. Like, Kibler's reach is in large part responsible due to him streaming a popular game as opposed to Magic.
These old eyes still see far and clear.
A tribute to the Spider God.
Man, we just cannot catch a break today, huh? Alright, there's a break. We caught a break. We caught a break, chat. The Elise doesn't get to level this turn. Probably leveling next turn, but...
We could use a bite.
Zigzag! Thanks for the 21 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Great. Guess we're just dropping a fat boy in here. One Trundle, please. Begin the bundling.
We must all make sacrifices.
I'll knock 'em dead. Troll out.
Smooth as
Kibler retired from Magic for a while before Hearthstone even. Yeah, it's because, like, Magic never paid a lot, right? It was really tough to make a living. You couldn't, like, making a living as a Magic content creator just, like, wasn't really a thing. I think I just take this full hit, and then we're gonna go Trundle into Rekindler some Trundles here. I mean, Hall of Fame is never very lucrative. After a moto crash, which one? Many get burned out here? Oh, just that, sure. Yeah, I intend to play Cyberpunk on the PS5 when I eventually get to it. So I'm probably gonna wait to do that until they have the next gen console version done. LSV hasn't just dabbled in other card games. He is one of the designers for Direwolf Digital that makes a Eternal card game, and they made the Elder Scrolls card game for a little bit. So, didn't do a lot here. Go into 2. Channel Fireball is only 1/3 magic now. Yeah, diversifying seems smart on their part.
Deploying! Artillery barrage! Kings can't lose.
Adding the time the spoilers happen to the playlist is probably a good idea. Championless Freljord Iona. Well, I have no idea what they're doing. I'm gonna assume something aggressive and mulligan accordingly. How do you feel about the priority in instances like that where they could have given you a chance to respond to the boat with Catalyst? I think I was gonna lose that game regardless, and it didn't matter. I think the priority system in Runeterra is fantastic. The priority system in Runeterra gives you a chance to respond to many things without making it cumbersome and tedious like Magic the Gathering frequently is. It is a fantastic balance between Hearthstone, where you never get to respond to things, and Magic, where there's this rigid system that sucks in a lot of instances.
That's my resting face.
You know, I think I'm actually going to bank mana this turn, because if we draw a Catalyst next turn, I'd like to play it.
You can see the Demacian border from here.
There's always a way out.
In Avarosa's name.
Well, that's because there are edge cases, Logan, where you want to respond to your own spells in Magic. And, like, those... Basically, the priority system in Runeterra gives up all those, like, 1% edge cases for the sake of making the gameplay just play faster and more elegantly. Which is a good exchange, in my opinion. I am happy to have that exchange. There's also, it also adds different strategic depth in different places as well. Like how the stack works in Runeterra is different than it works in Magic, but it's not just like adding no value to be different. Well, we've got some Threshes, and I've got some Sweepers, so see if we can manage to not die here. Yeah. I mean, if they don't open on attacks next turn, I get to do this, right? And by do this, I mean get denied.
They'll never see me coming.
Just like we drew it up, chat.
Quietly.
They'll never see us coming.
I'm not dead yet. Is playing around deny better there? Alright, Time Lord. This is the thing. How do I play around deny? Tell me the specific game action you expect me to take to play around deny. What is my play around deny winning line there? Freeze and Vengeance basically ends me up in the exact same spot. Only I'm at 4 and I still die here. Like, those are instances like those are ones that separate good card game players from less good card game players, where, like, it sucks that they have deny, but, like, you're definitely supposed to just play the Ruination and hope they don't have it there. It's one of those go fish moments where you're like, okay, do you have deny? If you do, I lose, and if you don't, I'm in a good spot. We're not in a position where, and in order to evaluate whether or not you're supposed to play go fish in a moment like that, you're supposed to ask yourself, well, okay, let's assume they have deny. What does my play look like if they have deny? And the answer is, well, if they have deny and I play around it, I still lose. So I should definitely not play around it, because if I still lose by playing around it, I should just hope they don't have it. It's a difference between playing to lose more slowly and playing to win. Ash Shijani. Flash Freeze is probably good here. Thresh is probably a little mediocre. I'm gonna mulligan these, looking for some cheaper things to play to the board. This is fine. Hopefully they have the 5 for 2. I get to kill it with this.
I need just a moment.
Do this now, so that way if they have a +2 toughness spell, it doesn't have toughness on their turn. I missed an attack for free. They live at 1, it's my fault.
Took the bait.
What's that noise?
I'm through waiting.
Magic Jeff taught me the concept of hoping they don't have it after playing Instant Speed Wrath for a year and a half. Yup. And honestly, Runeterra, one of the things I like about Runeterra is, on average, Runeterra has far fewer of those go fish style games. They're not non-existent, obviously. They still happen, like that game that we just played on occasion, but those are more the exception than the rule.
We fight for one Freljord.
Really need to draw a champion here so this Rekindler can do something.
To get me out of here.
I don't think my opponent really made, I think that's an like, if you look back at that game, I don't think my opponent really made any decisions other than play their hand to the board. I think if you wanted to be critical of a decision that was made in that game, that, like, a deck building decision, how our deck is constructed, or maybe how I mulligan, but, like, I don't think my opponent really made any specific plays in that game that made me do anything. Yeah, they played their deck like, yeah, they played on curve, and, like, our deck is clunky in a number of games, and we just died because our deck was clunky. And that's not to say that, like, my opponent played poorly. They just, like, there wasn't anything particularly nuanced about what was going on. And, like, that's fine. That's why aggro decks are good. Aggro decks are good because sometimes they just kill your opponent. But, like, also call a spade. There wasn't really nuance in that game. We just died, and, like, that happens sometimes. Am I planning on dabbling in the Digimon TCG next year? I will probably pick it up to play a little bit with my kids. I watched a How to Play video and it looks really good, and I like that IP. Is there a mercy rule? At some point we stop getting dumpstered, right? Digimon is already out. I don't believe it's been released in the US.
You're mine.
Today
You want a defensive harrowing here? I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know what our defensive harrowing would be getting. What a depressing harrowing. Man, alright. Alright, we're gonna shake it off, chat. We're at the bottom of the Diamond 4 rank floor. We're gonna queue it back up again. It's gonna be okay. We're gonna do it. We're gonna have the scoreboard this morning. We're due. Our cumulative variance has piled up, chat. We are guaranteed to be lucky in this next game. We're saving up all the good variants. Draven Taric. Alright, chat. This is it. This is what we prepared for. We can beat the Taric deck. Allegedly. I believe in our ability to beat Taric.
Fuse is lit. Nothing escapes my watch. Got something for him? Look out for Reavers.
Do we move to the next deck if we lose to Taric? Asking the real questions.
Raise your weapon, Sunwood.
I'm ready to shine.
Yeah, I've already had a number of people tell me that I should be playing Taric in the out of the way deck, press a pick. It's like, well, what if we just like didn't put bad cards in my deck? I'm gonna kill the Taric here just to deny them a card draw with something like Pale Cascade. I think that's fine. Uses my mana efficiently this turn. My only other play this turn other than that would be like Catalyst or Chronicler. I don't really want to Chronicler my Hawk.
Nice to meet you.
Who gets tossed? I would not want to be you.
I think I'm pretty okay with this exchange. Like, remember, our deck wants Trundles to die. So, like, these trade. I get to play another Trundle next turn. I get to Rekindler Trundle the following turn. I get to Chronicler Rekindler Trundle the turn after that.
I bring clarity.
The trolls are going to war.
Shatter them.
So they get to draw an extra card here, but I get to kill this with Trundle, right?
Nothing's tougher than a troll.
They'd have Brothers Bond here to kill Trundle, but again, like, that's fine, right? Or they get the one Elixir of Wrath? Yeah, that's fine. This exchange is good for us, right? Like, we want our Trundles to die. Just I've seen means specifically on board.
We die, then come home.
Coming in hot.
Coming in hot.
Explosives primed.
I'll knock 'em dead.
A little scared of another Elixir of Wrath. We'll see them open attacks here.
Dazzling.
In position.
Who's gonna get in my way? The party has arrived.
This is perfect. Now I get to level Trundle. Which means leveling Trundle is great because it means I don't mind if he dies in combat this turn.
Look sharp.
Do I want to ruinate next turn? I'm not sure that I do.
Time for the moneymakers. Let's do this.
They'll never see.
Yeah, I agree that we're in a good spot.
Take forever, why don't you?
Never submit. I am the protector of the mountain.
Behind you.
Nothing's tougher than a troll.
Taking 7, 8, 9, 10. 11.
Draven out?
No place for the kind.
We got more trolls than the average Magic the Gathering Twitch chat. All of the trolls, chat. Time to make a U-Sickle, yep. We're gonna drop double Ice Pillar here and kill both their things with Trundles. One smack will do. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 8+ cost things. So these will be 18 power total, minus 8. Can I kill them? What if we just do this and try and kill them? Yes! It took a Taric deck, champ, but we are finally on the scoreboard.
Did I break something?
God bless you, Taric. This is it, champ. Don't call it a comeback. We're moving on up. We made it into the Taric bracket, and we were triumphant. How many Tarics will we see on Sunday? 0. I played 10 games with Ash Sajani and never had Omen Hawk on one. Have you tried being luckier? It's a strong line. I think I'm gonna full mulligan looking for 1s and 2s here. We live in Diamond Fortress. A pick. It is our homeland. See, always talk on. Why would you put Omen Hawk in your deck if you weren't gonna play it on 1? That's just a mistake.
Order from here.
No, competitors will be able to change their lineups for the finals. They are not locked into their lineups that they played in the the first day. Super awkward hand tier.
What did we catch? Gotcha.
Wonder how that changes people's deck choices. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how many people end up replaying their same things versus not. So a bunch of things are gonna die in combat here, so I think I just get Thresh into play. So that way he can start collecting things towards level up.
I'm through waiting.
Huh. I want to get Trundle into play here.
It can't be.
It can't be.
Sharpen the blade, secure the kill.
I'm just gonna box here. It kills this and marks some damage on this.
Victory requires a sharp blade.
Feeling a little bit bad about that, but it is what it is. They want to trade with this. I get to level Thresh, which is fine.
Stand and defend. Troll out. It's over when I say.
I'll cut them apart.
Hot on the trail.
Face me.
You have to get me out of here.
These old eyes still see far and clear. A chill in the air.
What if we're gonna see a culling here? Or a reckoning? Just a culling, sure. That's fine though. I get to play this, which should get us a Thresh.
We each died, then found hope.
So we're in a good spot here. I told you that last match was gonna be our turnaround point, chat. So now I get to attack in.
Safeguard our homes. Yes, you. The trolls are going.
Now, the downside here is that our Trundles aren't leveled yet. So the fact that Trundles aren't leveled yet means it's difficult to kill with Harrowing, because they're not going to overwhelm. We are just ahead on board. That's true. We're also up on cards in hand as well here. We are a little bit down on life total. Catalyst helps with that.
You're mine.
My arrow won't miss.
Such naivete.
Remember me.
Save the hope.
Oh, you know what? I messed up. I should have played an ice pillar there to keep our life total higher. I think is what should have happened there.
Only the finest serve.
We burn, then kindle anew.
I think this is right. Alright. It wasn't right. We're dead. Got it. Ooh. Even if we harrowing there, the fact that we never got to set up leveled Trundle meant that it wasn't enough. This deck's almost assuredly worse than a lot of the other harrowing decks. The fact that we have to level Trundle in order for our harrowings to be good is a big deal. Makes us a lot weaker. Like most other harrowing decks in that last instance, you know, when they get that harrowing on the last turn, not having Trundle, like you wouldn't need to level your champion for it to be good.
Who goes there?
Achilles? Where are you? I must get out of here.
We swim within the flows of magic.
They're out there. I'll spot them.
So if they attack with this, they're not. Makes sense. I say if they attack and pump, we can glimpse our thing. No, 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 no.
Stay back.
Alert the village.
Catalyst is a great pickup. Let's just use our mana this turn.
The honor of my house.
Yeah, Ekrim's one of the many champions you can play that's reasonable with harrowing. There's also Anivia played with harrowing. Elites is played with harrowing. Harrowing goes in a lot of things.
What form will the waters take? Sweep them away.
Golly's just covered in fearsomes. She's a spooky gal.
A gift from the river folk. Waters are still.
Well, no early Fiora, but River Shaper got to draw them 2 cards here. Hoping to find one of our champions ASAP, so that way we can get Rekindler going. No play on 5 mana. What is going on over there? They're pretty likely to have single combat or concerted strike in their hand, but like, I don't think I can just not use my mana this turn. I saw Spooky was no longer on the tier list, that both Overwhelm variations were up there. Made me happy.
Kept above the rest.
Block, they riposte, we glimpse. Man, where are our champions at, chat? Just gonna go ahead and do this now. No reason to get greedy with it. The longer the River Shaper is in play, the more likely they are to have a deny. It is a thick barrier there.
What's that noise?
What's that noise? The third glimpse show. This is the glimpse, chat. This glimpse is gonna propel us into some champions. I can feel it. And by that I mean this glimpse is going to get single combated, so we're gonna wait until we block to play it. They have not played any champions yet. They're Fiora Shen, though.
You weren't always this way.
Fifteen cards into our deck without a champion, chat. Slow, steady, and counting.
My shield is yours.
Well, I mean,
Against the Laurent?
You have to get me out of here.
alright, sweet. There's a champion. Attempt to ruin their day for the second time. Get denied a second time.
Please, I have connections.
I have connections. It's the part where they play second rally and kill us, right? Because this just drew the second rally.
These woods protect their own.
King of Trolls coming through.
I am one with the land. Nature blesses her followers. Nature blesses her followers.
I'm not dead yet. Not Not dead yet.
Nature blesses her followers.
Carlo Van Luito, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
Blesses her followers.
I demand a rematch.
Trundle strikes me as the type of person to file litigation when he loses an election. Definitely not a gracious loser. This deck is definitely a little bit worse with Trundle being weaker. You are not wrong. Perfect. Would love to draw one drop here. Got all the life gain in some early plays. You don't elect Troll Kings. Well, you know.
Let's get it, crew. Ready, aim.
No one's the wiser.
I think I'm just passing it. I think I want a Catalyst on 3.
They were on the tree.
The Buffalo Lord, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Well, now we're not catalysting this turn. I think we're gonna bank spell mana to catalyst next turn though.
Plenty of killing left.
It's a little bit of an unfortunate draw. It's a good draw, but like, shit, we couldn't catalyst last turn.
Fish in water.
Build a deck around Senna. Well, Senna's synergy is Lucian, so you're just building a Lucian deck at that point. Most Lucian decks are also Senna decks. Senna in her current design is just a support card for Lucian. Before the screams.
Time to get rich.
Captain's orders.
Nobody escapes. Coming in hot. Nothing escapes my watch.
Best part of this game is that I've been playing for 2 weeks, haven't figured out the meta yet, speaks to the right game. Yeah, I mean, like, Runeterra doesn't really have a super defined metagame like most card games that you're used to, because Runeterra has really balanced card designs. Yeah, I think healing Thresh here is good with 6 more healing rolled up in my hand.
Say your farewells.
This is fine.
Come back.
Explosives prime.
So this is 1 death away from leveling.
Dead men tell my tale.
Dead men tell my tale. So Thresh is going to level mid-combat, so he'll get to eat Gangplank here.
Look out for reapers.
Oh, Gangplank is also leveling. That's a good point.
Water is mine and mine alone.
They'll level together. Do, 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 do. Alright, so my play was bad here. I should have blocked the 2-1 because I forgot that. Never mind. My play was perfect. I knew there was a Vile Beast on top of my deck. Nobody criticized my gameplay. Played perfectly, drew perfectly. Card games are easy, chat. Just draw the cards you need. That play was vile. Do you have children? I need to know if you have children. I'm pretty sure you're only allowed to make that joke if you have children. Don't time out, Ruin. They're allowed to make that joke if they have kids.
You should be honored.
Chat, if you're new to the channel, I need you to instill it. You need to have one. If there's one thing you will take away from hanging out in Hoaglandia, it's this very important lesson. 10-minute timeouts in chat really aren't a big deal. And in fact, if you think a 10-minute timeout in chat is a big deal, I would encourage you to instead reflect. You can time me out, I don't have kids, but puns are for everyone and you can't silence me. Listen, if you think a 10-minute chat timeout is a big deal in your life, I would encourage you to reflect on how good your life is, that like not being able to bang messages into your keyboard on a Twitch chat for 10 minutes is some big offense. Your life is probably pretty good. What's up, dude? Well-born Muse, thanks for the sub gift, dude. Trundle bundle. So, Prohet, thanks for the follow. Mustard Chaos, thanks for the follow. I love you, but I need you to stay out of my office, though. Dad's working this morning. You need the Minecraft cartridge? Oh, Mom took it out. You got it? Alright. Alright, anyways, to wrap on this. I know we got beat up in that set today, but it's also important to think about what happened in the games where we got beat up. And like, while I don't think this deck is tier 1, and I think it's probably less competitive than things like the Anivia control deck that's very reasonable and good, I think this deck is capable of winning games. You know, we've played it a bunch in the past. Yes, it's a little bit weaker with Trundle getting a point nerf, but, you know, like that last game showed, I do think this deck is pretty reasonable into a lot of the control deck, or a lot of the aggressive decks in the format. It doesn't mean you're going to win all the time, but I think if you enjoy slamming people with a lot of Trundles at the same time, this deck is capable of doing that, even if it isn't, you know, tier 1. All right.